everybody. I'm Jay, and I'm an alcoholic, and I am very much feeling my alcoholism today. That's so fun. Also, I'm sorry if the shirt is distracting. It's from a chiropractor's office. Now that you know that isn't it cute? I think it's fucking cute. I had a root canal earlier, and my recovery heaven-ass had ibuprofen and Pocky sticks for dinner. Oh my god, yes, and these are peach. Got them from a store online that sells like international snacks. Oh my fucking god, they smell like summertime. I'm not addicted or anything, but I wasn't sure how like a peach biscuit cookie thing would taste, but it's actually really, like, it really works. All I want to do is read out of this book. Like, I probably have so many other things I could be doing right now. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna read out of this fucking book, okay? And record some videos because that's what I feel like fucking doing. Oh yeah, and I don't know if I have made a video with this yet, but I got this spontaneously a couple weeks ago. One of my really good friends was here, and we walked by a tattoo shop, and I had been wanting to get the symbol. Like, honestly, I really truly wanted to get it on my middle finger so I could show people and go like this, especially old men in meetings. Be like, yeah, I got a tattoo, do you like it? But anyway, the artist was like, you don't want it there, it's just gonna like blur out, you're not gonna be able to see anything. I was really disappointed, but he sold me on putting it somewhere else, and I love it. This is actually an old sobriety date, so if you want to relapse, you should definitely tattoo your date on your body. That is a surefire way. God, fucking stupid. I want to get this covered. I think I want to get like something that represents time, like what are those little things that you dip upside down and the sand falls? Anyways, I don't fucking know. I feel like that could work sideways. But if anybody has ideas on what I can get here to cover it up, that would go nicely. Let me know. I'm open. Okay, I'm gonna start reading, and I want to make this quick. Oh my gosh, it says don't let religion get in the way of your spirituality. Love that. Heard that in a meeting the other day, I think, and I jotted it down. Anyways, someone is yelling somewhere in this building, and it's reverbing through my fucking walls, and I would appreciate knowing where the fuck it's coming from. The last couple of videos I uploaded, I had like a lot of gum and mouth sounds in those. How do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about that? I will never do like soft-spoken. I can't stand soft-spoken. Like if someone has a very specific request and like fucking begs me, which I don't foresee happening. I do not like soft-spoken, so I'm gonna continue to whisper. And I might do some. Because I really like that. So if I do something audible, and then just like regular whispers, that I think we can handle. But anything else? Nope. Oh, I got a new chair too. Didn't really show you much, so I don't know why I did that, but anyways, let's read what I need to remember. What you need to remember are the pages that I should be reading daily that I don't. Page 77, our real purpose is to fit ourselves to be of maximum service to God and people about us. Ugh. I just am not. I joke, I kid. There's so many things in this book that are like classified as like warnings. I think I talked about that in one of my very first videos. There's promises, prayers, actions, and warnings throughout the book, and it's really cool. I have a sponsor who knows like all about the history and stuff, and like obviously was taught by other people. All about this, and like knows how the big book was written and stuff, and like is able to point out like where the warnings and the promises and all that stuff are. So I'm gonna go into steps 10 and 11 and read those pages. I actually adjusted my seat so that I'm a little bit more reclined. Also, I have the light on again. There was a while there where I wasn't turning like the ring light on, and I just had the light in the back. Let me see what you think. Is that better? Like, should I just continue to record videos? Like, if I'm not showing my face, what's the point of y'all seeing my lips, you know? Like, does that help? Because I know sometimes when I watch, like, I need to see people's lips when they're talking, so, like, can you even see my lips now? Like, if I just have it like this, would this be okay, or should I put the light back on? Let's see, let's try it again. Like, what do you think? I'm gonna keep it on for the rest of this video just because that's how I had it, but I think like for sleeping it's way more conducive to have it off. Yeah, I'm gonna make y'all vote. Okay, I'm gonna read. We're on page 83. We're starting down at the bottom with the 9th step, promises. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self-pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self-seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle suggests that we continue to take personal inventory and continue to set right any new mistakes as we go along. We have vigorously commenced this way of living as we cleaned up the past. We have entered the world of the spirit. Our next function is to grow in understanding and effectiveness. This is not an overnight matter. It should continue for our lifetime. Continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. When these crop up, we ask God at once to remove them. We discuss them with someone immediately and make amends quickly if we've harmed anyone. Then we resolutely turn our thoughts to someone we can help. Love and tolerance of others is our code. This next part is really good. And we have ceased fighting anything or anyone, even alcohol, for by this time sanity will have returned. We will seldom be interested in liquor. If tempted, we will recoil from it as from a hot flame. We react sanely and normally, and we will find that this has happened automatically. We will see that our new attitude toward liquor has been given us without any thought or effort on our part. It just comes. That is the miracle of it. We are not fighting it, neither are we avoiding temptation. We feel as though we had been placed in a position of neutrality, safe and protected. This is how I picture my higher power holding me, safe and protected. We have not even sworn off. Instead, the problem has been removed. The problem has just been entirely removed. It does not exist for us. We are neither cocky nor are we afraid. That is our experience. That is how we react so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. Those are promises. Those are all promises. And at the end it says, so long as we keep in fit spiritual condition. And there's a way to do that. How, you ask? Well, let me tell you. Here it comes. So good of you to ask. Let's talk about it. It is easy to let up on the spiritual program of action and rest on our laurels. We are headed for trouble if we do, for alcohol is a subtle foe. We are not cured of alcoholism. What we really have is a daily reprieve, contingent on the maintenance of our spiritual condition. Every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. Also, like all of these words, like this is, by the time you get here, this is step 10 and 11. Like, you don't just know what these things are and go, oh, okay, I'm gonna bring God's will into all my shit that I do every day. Like, no, you learn what that is, what that means for you, and like how it can be a part of your life, so you choose. And by the time you get here, it's not as hard as it might sound. Every day is a day we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will. Also, like that whole thy will, not mine, be done, like that sentiment. There's a sentiment behind that is really what matters. And it doesn't matter how you say it or what your, I won't even say prayer, or like mantra is. That was just a mantra that was listed. How can I best serve thee? Thy will, not mine, be done. These are thoughts which must go with us constantly. That's just a mantra. There's nothing more in that than it being just a mantra. And you can choose to say or think whatever mantra you want. You don't have to say these words. That is the biggest thing that I stress, especially to sponsees. Like, you do not have to use this that's how I'm going to read it. We can exercise our willpower along this line all we wish. It is the proper use of the will. Okay, let's go on to the next paragraph. Much has already been said about receiving strength, inspiration, and direction from Him who has all knowledge and power. I just call that universe. So, if we have carefully followed directions, we have begun to sense the flow of His Spirit into us. To some extent, we have become God-conscious. We have begun to develop this vital sixth sense, but we must go further, and that means more action, which we will talk about right now. Step 11 suggests prayer and meditation. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Page 86. We shouldn't be shy on this matter of prayer. Better men than we are using it constantly. It works if we have the proper attitude and work at it. It would be easy to be vague about this matter, yet we believe we can make some definite and valuable suggestions. Ready? Here we go. Here are the instructions to a pretty good sobriety. When we retire at night, we constructively review our day. Were we resentful, selfish, dishonest, or afraid? Do we owe an apology? Have we kept something to ourselves which should be discussed with another person at once? Were we kind and loving toward all? What could we have done better? Were we thinking of ourselves most of the time, or were we thinking of what we could do for others, of what we could pack into the stream of life? But we must be careful not to drift into worry, remorse, or morbid reflection, for that would diminish our usefulness to others. After making our review, we ask God's forgiveness and inquire what corrective measures should be taken. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. Under these conditions, we can employ our mental faculties with assurance, for after all, God gave us brains to use. Our thought life will be placed on a much higher plane when our thinking is cleared of wrong motives. So I just want to say when it says, before we begin. So it says, on awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking. Before we begin means like before we go about our day, before we do anything. Like before I literally do anything, I will, I don't know if I want to use the word pray, but that's what I call it now. That's not what I called it when I first came in. So, what was I calling it? Not asking. I don't know, just meditating on, I guess. I'd meditate on, the fact that I want to be in a service-oriented mindset today and not in a selfish mindset, right? In thinking about our day, we may face indecision. We may not be able to determine which course to take. Here we ask God, has made conscious contact with God, it is not probable that we are going to be inspired at all times. I'm going to read that again. It is not probable that we were going to be inspired at all times. We might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Nevertheless, we find that our thinking will, as time passes, be more and more on the plane of inspiration. We come to rely upon it. Basically, those few sentences there said, bitch, if you don't slow the fuck down and give yourself some grace, it is progress, not perfection. We are not saints. The point is, we were willing to grow, right? So, we're not going to be inspired at all times. That just means, like, we're not always going to have the right answer. We're not always going to have a good day. We're not, not everything every day is going to be just as we want it. Like, and then it goes on to say we might pay for this presumption in all sorts of absurd actions and ideas. Like, if we think that that's how it's going to be, like, we're definitely going to pay a price for that. Okay, read with me the next paragraph, page 87. We usually conclude the period of meditation with a prayer that we be shown all through the day what our next step is to be, that we be given whatever we need to take care of such problems. We ask especially for freedom from self-will, and are careful to make no request for ourselves only. We may ask for ourselves, however, if others will be helped. We are careful never to pray for our own selfish ends. Many of us have wasted a lot of time doing that, and it doesn't work. You can easily see why. If circumstances warrant, we ask our partners or friends to join us in morning meditation. If we belong to a religious denomination, which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend to that also. I've had Sabansis who had decided to continue to explore past either religious or spiritual methods, meditations, rituals, practices every day. I've had a sponsi chant in the morning. I've had someone else use, singing bowl, just all kinds of ways to incorporate whatever, whatever. I can't, there's just so many intricacies to it, I can't even get into it. I blow myself away with how many minutes I record every night. I feel like I've been talking for 10 minutes. It's fucking 45 minutes on the clock right now. Which I'm sure I've edited a lot of those minutes away, but anyways. If we belong to a religious denomination which requires a definite morning devotion, we attend to that also. If not members of religious bodies, we sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which we emphasize the principles we've been discussing. There are many helpful books also. Suggestions about these may be obtained from one's priest, minister, or rabbi. Be quick to see where religious people are right and make use of what they offer. So before I go on to the next paragraph, I'm just going to reiterate. We sometimes select and memorize a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we have been discussing. Everything that we've been talking about on these last couple of pages, those are the principles we've been discussing. That's what they're talking about. And yes, I selected and memorized a few set prayers which emphasize the principles we've been discussing. And my set prayer was, God, or higher power, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. Period. There's more that you can say, and you can make it sound like fucking medieval and like prehistoric and all that shit and very religious, but like, I do not speak in a fucking curly language. I don't. I just don't. And what I want to say is, higher power, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. That's what it says. On awakening, let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We ask God to direct our thinking, especially asking that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, self-seeking motives. Take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. That's it. Like, that's it. Okay? Like, that's all I gotta say. That's all you gotta know. That's all we need. Okay. I think you get my point. Page 87. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we are no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." What was I just saying? Higher power, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. Take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. And behind that is whatever it means for every person who's saying it. Like, that might mean something different for me than it means for you. It's definitely gonna mean something different for me than it means for you, and then it means for this person, and then it means for that Joe Schmo over there. It for sure means something different for all of us. And like, whatever service-oriented place we need to be individually, how we do service for other people, that's all we're asking the universe to help us do, is to get in that service-oriented mindset, get out of my own fucking crazy head. Help me stop obsessing about myself, my problems, my sobriety, my recovery, my issues, things that I want, my job, my family, my relationship, my money, my fucking everything, on and on and on and on. All day I could obsess about that shit, but no. We constantly remind ourselves that we are no longer running the show. Humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity, or foolish decisions. We become much more efficient. We do not tire so easily, for we're not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. It works, it really does. I'm gonna read that again. Like, think about this, please. Think about what this says about it burning up energy. We humbly say to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." Also, this says many times each day. Many times each day. We constantly remind ourselves. As we go through the day, we pause when agitated or doubtful and ask for the right thought or action. We constantly remind ourselves we're no longer running the show, humbly saying to ourselves many times each day, "Thy will be done." Take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, show me how to live. We are then in much less danger of excitement, fear, anger, worry, self-pity or foolish decisions, we become much more efficient. Here it is. We don't tire so easily, for we're not burning up energy foolishly as we did when we were trying to arrange life to suit ourselves. My relationship, my money, my situations, my, me. That's exhausting. That burns up fucking energy. That shit will make you so fucking tired by the end of the day. Like, bruh. No wonder why you're fucking exhausted. I can't fucking sleep because you're sitting there thinking about all the shit still. Like, get a grip, yo. Get a fucking grip, yo. Okay. Man, I get fired up when I read this fucking book. Okay, burning energy foolishly, blah, blah, blah. It works. It really does. It says it works. It really does. We alcoholics are undisciplined, so we let God discipline us in the simple way we've just outlined. But this is not all. There is action and more action. Faith without works is dead. The next chapter is entirely devoted to step 12, and I will not read that chapter because there is enough in this one for us to digest for a moment, okay? Something written in the margin of my book says I am way underqualified for the job of God. I can work for Him, can be an employee, but I cannot be God. It's really amazing when you start to realize how intentional Bill was with the words that he used to write this book. Like saying we constantly remind ourselves many times each day, much more efficient. It just, like, it's all right here. Don't know how else to tell you. Like, I mean, I do. If I broke it down, I'm sure I could figure out another way to tell you, and that's exactly what I'm here trying to do, but you get my drift, alright? Okay. Thank you so much for reading with me. That was page 83, the bottom of 83, where the ninth step promises. 84, 85, 86, 87, and 88. 88 stops in the middle, and then it says we go on to step 12, blah blah blah, but we didn't read that, so 83 to 88. Beautiful. my frog gems in your face while you're trying to sleep. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that here, okay? So,